Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Step Check. Good to see you all. Thank you all for being here. For those of you that I've not yet had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Steve Jones. I am the executive director of Float and of Aloft and of Fulcrum and some other stuff going on in the Floativerse. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining me once again on a Sunday night. Where is all this sound coming from? Sorry, there it is. I have multiple I've got the Facebook feed going here. I got the Instagram feed going here so I can keep track of comments and everything. And apparently one of them I did not have the volume all the way down on. So it was like boom, 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 boom. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get to my magic window, everybody. Miss Stephanie, good to see you as always. Nicole, it's so nice to see you out here now so often. Thank you very much. Sherry Thomas and Sherry Hatcher at the same exact time. Sherry squared. Good to see you guys. Thank you. Ingrid, hello. Good to see you. Rebecca, I'm going to have the dumb question of the night. I wouldn't bet money on that, but there's really, no, that's not, don't be so hard on yourself. Marquette, good to see you. And on the other side of things, Pretty Party Planners of Arizona. Hi on Instagram. Hey, it's Raining Melody. Good to see you. Runice, good to see you as always. Deco Gift Creations, good to see you as well. Thank you very much for joining me. For those of you that are newer to the Floativerse, we do this, believe it or not, every Sunday night, regardless if there's a convention coming or not, because there's so many things happening in the Floativerse all the time. We do this live Q&A every Sunday night, and we're lovely to have you all here. So thank you for being here. I'm not going to say anything on that one. I'm going to wait on that one. Stacey Chase, good to see you. Joette, good to see you as well. Thank you for being here. Angela, always a pleasure to see you out here on Facebook on the feed. Linda Hruska, good to see you. Sorry, thank you very much. It has been a rough day. But before I go too far, I have to share that tonight I have a very special guest in the studio. And no, it's not Murphy. Yes, he's here, but no, it's not Murphy. It's the one and only, of course, the microphone cord is now screwing me up. It is Greg Aragoni, everybody, from Float.
Welcome to Step Chat, everybody.
Here, hold on. I'm trying to get this to where. There you go. And there's no, grab him back, pull him back because he's going to walk through the cord.
Is what he's going to do. I got him.
So there's Mr. and of course Mr. Murphy there.
Murphy's down below here.
Murphy's butt. So there we go. There he is, looking through the chair. There we go. And yes, that's my secret high tech, not lamp box or Tagarp lamp box that's sitting there. So good to see you, sir. Yes. Greg is out here helping us out with New Year's Eve stuff, as always. So it's good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. Jenny Porter, good to see you. All right, so there we go. Hi. Yes, it has been a long, long day today so far. We had to be up at 4 a.m. this morning for an installation. But at 2 a.m., I woke up in a panic realizing that I had not done something yet for Float that needed to get done. And so, needless to say, I was up at 2 a.m. working on the computer. And then we got to the install, and what should have been about 4 hours took about 6. And it's an hour drive there and an hour drive back, and it was just a mess. So there we go.
It wasn't my fault.
No, it was not. No, it was not Greg's fault at all. We had mechanical issues with the lift, repeatedly mechanical issues with the lift, including, of course, the lift's battery dying as we got along. We arrived there. It's a casino, and we arrived there, and we were originally supposed. Now, to be fair, we were originally supposed to be coming in on the 30th. But we emailed them and said, hey, we're really wondering if we could switch this up to today, the 28th, because the 30th is turning into a very crazy day, and we would prefer, if we can, to come on on today. And they said, well, as long as the balloons are still going to be good for the drop. And we're like, yeah, they'll be fine. So they said, yeah, that's no problem. But what they didn't take into account is that there are massive Christmas ornament decorations hanging all over this casino. And when we arrived this morning, none of those had been taken down. So we had to, before we could hang our nets, we actually had to take down the other decorations, which always adds to the fun and joy of delays. And then, like I said, we had mechanical problems on the front end with the lift. We had mechanical problems on the back end with the lift as far as dying. And then the other problem is that Normally, this casino on a Sunday morning isn't real busy. But with the Seahawks doing so incredibly well this year in the NFL, when the game started at 10 a.m., the casino got quite busy. And unfortunately, every single person and their uncle decided that that guy in the lift really doesn't matter when I want to do X, Y, or Z. And so it got to be a real pain in the butt. Mary Hohikian, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here on Instagram. Tabitha Miller, Mary Hohikian and Tabitha Miller, both two fabulous instructors coming to float. There you go. Speaking of a drop from Party Planners, Arizona, I am currently pump and tying right now. Is there a better way to tie the balloons? What are some hacks? Nope. I hate to say it. There's you're tying them, you're throwing them in a bag. That's it. There's nothing exciting about that. There are some tying tools that you can purchase. I've never used them, and but we've got calluses from 30 plus years of doing balloons. So yeah, there's that. Over on Instagram, Mr. Phil Whitehead, our fabulous director of security, coming to float. Good to see you, sir. Catherine Coleman coming to say, yep, it's a lot. Mr. Ryan Farewell, our competition director out there. Good to see you, sir. Pretty Party, I wish I had better answers for you, but unfortunately I don't. I know that some people will occasionally do a few duplets in there to try to save their fingers a little bit, but you can't really do a balloon drop with duplets because it doesn't work right. Murphy, go back over there. You were doing great with Greg. Murphy. Go back over there, please. Go back. You'll come up later, I promise. So yeah, there's that. So but yeah, we had to do 6 bags. We had about 3 of the bags prepped before we got there. So we drove with 3 of the bags ready to go, and inflated anyway. And then A to the L to the EXA and I were blowing up more balloons while Greg and Aphrodite were out rigging balloons. And yeah, so it's always fun. So our next installation is tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Hope I get some sleep tonight. That's all I got to say. Liliana, good to see you. One of our fabulous dressmakers coming to float. Good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, enough rambling, enough crying and whining about our day. Let's get to the stuff because we got a lot of important stuff to share with you tonight, folks. So let's get a move on here. Bear with me while I get to the right screens and all that fun stuff. Please remember, I'm going to do my best that I can to respond to questions. If I tell you I need to come back to this, if I tell you that I need to get back to this, that's interesting. I got a notification that Google has access to my screen share and my screen and my audio now almost 900 times in the last 2 weeks. Isn't that interesting? Hello, Google. I'm just kidding. So yeah, there we are. Okay. We are live on both formats there. Everything's good. So let's get going here with tonight's edition of Step Chat. We are officially 28 days away, 4 weeks away. 4 weeks away from the start of Float 2026. And in fact, in 4 weeks and 48 minutes, we are 4 weeks and 48 minutes away from the start of the opening night ceremonies at Float. So there we go. We have lots of other stuff that's happening, of course, before then. The actual convention itself technically starts on Friday the 23rd. But the formal opening night event starts 4 weeks and 48 minutes away. So there you go. So we're very excited about that. Very, very, very excited about all the fun stuff that's coming your way. So thank you very much for that. We're looking forward to it. And I, for one, these next 4 weeks are going to fly by for me, but there you go. That's all I'm going to say. So that's enough of that. Hello, Jenny West. Good to see you over on Instagram. Thank you very much. And the ladies of Balloon Club Co. There you are. Good to see you both. Thank you very much for being here. Jessica and Day. And Jessica, last week, I remember what I got hung up on. The B's for Booker, right? Is that what it is? See, I remember I kept saying there's a B. It's a B. It's Jessica. Booker. Am I right? Did I finally get it right this time? There we go. Okay. Everybody on Facebook going 37, 37, 37. Yes, for a split second, we had 37 people. So there we go. Thank you all very much. All right, guys, I cannot stress this enough. Dates and deadlines that you have to know regarding the Floativerse. Some of these dates are regarding for those of you that are already registered for Float. Some of you are dates for people that haven't yet registered for Float. So pay very close attention. Balloons by Victoria, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here on Instagram and on Facebook. Josephine DaCosta, good to see you as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, so with that being said, the first immediate deadline you have coming up are the Floaty Awards. The submissions for the Floaties are December 31st. That's the last date to turn them in. I'm going to clue you in on something too. In my ineptitude and laziness and just flat out overwhelming state right now, the price point has not yet been updated to $7. So if you can get out there and submit your payments before that gets changed, you can still get them for $5. That hasn't been changed yet. So get your butt out there and hurry up and get that done. Remember, you submit the photos to info@floatconvention.com. And please, dear God in heaven, remember to read the rules pertaining to how the photos are to be labeled, because Aphrodite will just send them back to you if they're not labeled correctly. Some people what they've done is they'll submit the pictures, but then they'll state the labels in the email. No, you have to label the actual photos, because she is taking those photos and dumping them into a folder, and they need to be ready to go. Okay? If not, they'll be sent back to you. And again, be nice about it, folks, because she's just doing her job. Julie, good to see you over on Instagram. Thank you very much for joining us. Stacy Moore on Facebook. Good to see you. Thank you very much. So yeah, the deadline for everything is December 31st. If your payment's made but your photos aren't turned in, you're out. If your photos turn in but your payment ain't done, you're out. Everything is due by no later than December 31st. And remember, folks, the price is still set at $5. So if you want to get in there and try to squeak them in before it goes up, before they catch up with it on the website, please, 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 please do. Okay? Balloons by FF. Here's a great question on Instagram. If we submitted, will we get a confirmation they were received? You're supposed to. Aphrodite is supposed to reply to you and say, received, thank you. That's about the extent of what you're going to get. Okay. I do know that she has been very, very busy with Christmas and everything else, like everybody else. So she's playing catch up on the pictures. So there's that. If you're concerned that you have not received a response, you can drop an email into info@floatconvention.com and say, just confirming you got my pics or whatever. There you go. So no news is good news from Jenny. Yeah, as for right now, that's what I will say. Yes. But I do know that we had the conversation about, we did have the conversation about the fact that she is supposed to reply with received, because she was like, dear God, what do I have to? I said, you just literally have to say received, thank you. And that's it. That's all you have to say. So don't be offended or don't be upset if she doesn't write you a novel, but by all means. Yeah. So there you go. Balloons by FF. I didn't get anything, so maybe I'll circle back just in case. Yeah, I would. And I'll actually see her tomorrow night too at another install, and I'll let her know that people are concerned. So there we go. Okay. But again, I know that she's been very busy because she hosted Christmas, if that tells you anything. So there you go. Okay, guys, the next major deadline after that is January 2nd, which is what? Friday. This Friday. That is the last day for discounted rates, especially predominantly for the international attendees. Okay. Right now, the international rate is $575. That is $220 cheaper than the current registration price. This discount absolutely goes away on Friday. The last day is Friday. So if you've not registered for Float and you're from Canada and you try to register on Saturday, $8.95 is what you're looking at. Okay. So please, or Mexico or Puerto Rico or anywhere, please, dear God in heaven, get that discounted price while you can. Last day this Friday. And again, Last day for all other discounted rates. The $7.95 price point for float goes up to $8.95 on Friday or after Friday. The weekend passes and jam passes go up in price on Saturday. Last day to get all the current pricing. Last day to get all the current pricing is this coming Friday. After that, you are looking at full price for everything, people. Okay. The foundational training program. There are only 11 spots left in the program. And again, this will close on the 2nd. So there's only 11 spots left and 6 days left to grab one of them. So if you're looking for the foundational beginner level training that's taking place at Float, you must get registered by Friday. Okay? After that, we might let you in, but you're looking at $8.95, not $5.50. The price is $5.50 right now. We have 11 spots left for that program. Okay? So make sure you get in there and get that going if you want to take part in that. You can sign up at the website at floatconvention.com. Okay, there we go. Now, for those of you that are registered for Float, there are 3 very important deadlines coming up, all on January 5th, which is 1 week from Monday. Okay. First of all, that will be the absolute last day to secure your discounted hotel room at the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino. If you do not book your room by January 5th, you will not get the discounted rate of $129 a night and no resort fee. Okay? If you don't do this, you're out of luck. Do not come to me and say, Steve, you got to help me. No, I can't. Contractually obligated. This is it. This is the last date. And by the way, this is one of the most generous dates I've seen, because most hotels cut you off a month ago. Like they would have cut you off last week. So you got to do it, folks. The last day to secure your hotel room is January 5th. Once you get registered for Float, there is an email that we'll be sending out like twice a week now. Okay, we'll be sending out at least 3 more emails to you between now and January 5th to get that room booked. Okay, so please get off your behinds and get that done, because on January 6th, there ain't nothing I can do for you, period. Devora, we'll come back to that. Okay. Also, January 5th, if you're registered for Float, that is the absolute last day to join a loft and get the benefits associated with a loft members. Okay? You'll understand why in a minute. So remember, it's absolutely imperative that if you're going to join a loft, which is our 24/7 streaming service, and get the benefits that are coming to you at Float, you must do so by Monday, January 5th. What are those benefits, you may ask? I'm happy to share. First of all, VIP benefits at Float. You get exclusive registration access check-in, so you get to jump the line at check-in at registration. You get early access to the vendor showcase on Sunday, January 25th. The vendor showcase opens at 11 a.m. for everybody else, but for you, it opens at 9 a.m. And you get to reserve your own personal seat at the Designer Awards Gala. The Designer Awards Gala is open seating unless people have bought and paid for reserved seats and tickets and all that fun stuff. And within a loft membership and coming to Float, you get to reserve your seat ahead of time. With regard to the loft discount, okay, you get 10% off all Float merchandise. You get 2-for-1 raffle tickets as an Aloft member, and you get 50% off professional headshots if that's something you want to have done at the convention. We'll talk more about that shortly. And of course, with Aloft Education, you will get a 24-hour head start to sign up for the live general classes at Float, and you will get free access to the recorded classes that are broadcast on Aloft streaming as a member from Float 2026. We are recording all the general classes, and there you go. Okay. Aloft offers over 150 Float offers over 150 videos, classes, podcast episodes, and more from people leading the industry like you can't believe. There's live virtual classes every month. Again, you get benefits and discounts at the Floativerse events, including Float and Fulcrum and other stuff that might be coming down the works, but I'm not going to say any more about that. And then from there we go. Melody, I'll come back to that too. So there you are. Okay. So if you want to join, there's two ways to join. You can get a full year at $120, which gives you $10 a month basic breakdown. But remember, it is paid annually. It's not, you don't pay $10 every month. It's $120 up front, or you can get 6 months of access for $80. We don't care which one you get. You just got to get one of them in time. And remember, these memberships automatically renew. You have to cancel them. So you have to go in and turn them off if you don't want them to renew, okay? Keep that in mind. And you do that at floatconvention.com/aloft to sign up. You use PayPal to cut everything off or whatever, but the bottom line is if you want to join by that time frame, you got to go to floatconvention.com/aloft to join. And remember, you have until Monday, January 5th to do this, and there you go. Jenny, there is no code in the email. There is a link in the email. We will address this in a minute. So Melody, I'll come back and catch you up on that. Also, don't forget, Monday, January 5th is the last day to pre-enroll in any master classes and bonus classes at the discounted prices. Period. Okay? Master classes right now are $99. Bonus classes are $25. If you do not sign up in advance by January 5th, when that website goes down, you will have to wait until Float to sign up, and then you will have to pay $125 for a master class, and you will have to pay $35 for a bonus class. Also, some of you will notice there are 3 and 4 option packages that include discounted rates. Those all go away on January 5th. That's the last day to get them. So if you do not pre-enroll by January 5th for added value classes, master classes, bonus classes, you will be out of luck. Okay. I'm coming back to all these questions that are coming in there. Okay. So all these questions I'm going to circle back on when it's done, because Facebook is throwing, you guys are great, asking great questions, but we're going to come back to them because we have a lot of stuff to get through. Okay. Float. I promise to get back to all of them though. Those of you that are competing at Float, and speaking of which, Tabitha Miller's been shouting out, shout out to the beautiful lady in the floaty photo. Today's Ali Khan's birthday. Yes, it absolutely is. Happy birthday once again to Ali Khan. And speaking of Ali Khan, I was on the phone with her this morning, and she's like, are we going to have a Zoom meeting? So then I reached out to Ryan. I said, hey, Ryan, we going to have a Zoom meeting? He's like, yeah, why not? I think we should have a Zoom meeting. There you go. January 6th. The time will actually be announced at a later time because I didn't have the time before I went live. But there will be a Designer of the Year competition meeting on January 6th. That time will be determined. Okay. Those of you that are eligible will get your info in the mail. So again, we're January 5th. Now we're to January 6th. Guess what? Now we're on January 7th. Those of you that bought a flotation pass for Float, Wednesday, January 7th is the day that you get to start signing up for your general classes at Float. You get a 2-day head start ahead of everybody else. Those of you that are Aloft streaming members, if you're registered for Float, you will get to start signing up on January 8th, which is Thursday. And then everybody else will get to start signing up for classes on Float Friday, which is January 9th. Okay, there you go. Ryan is out there in the feed saying 6 p.m. Which time zone, my friend? Which time zone does that mean? Yeah, there you go. So there you go. I could have sworn we did a Zoom meeting last year too, but there we go. Okay. Folks, don't forget, if you are registered to attend Float, we need your headshots now. Please, 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 I am begging you. Send your headshots in because we have to put them on your badges. We've been emailing people, and some of you have now been emailed 3 times asking for this. Please help us out here. Get your headshots sent in. Send them to steve@floatconvention.com. And guess what? When you do, you will get this lovely little graphic, the I Am Float graphic that we'll use your headshot with. So please, please, please send them in. They do not have to be professional headshots. They can be selfies in the car or like James's picture, just in this workshop. That's all we need from you. Okay. So please be sure to send those in. Ryan Farewell, Pacific, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. We'll make a meme and get that to everybody. What time do signups begin? We'll come back to that. All right, just a reminder, everybody, Mike Nakamura from Mike Makadura Photography is going to be at Float taking professional headshots on Wednesday, January 28th. Those shots will be taken between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., and then again from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay? God, guys. I will get to all of this. I'm being literally bombarded with questions in the feed tonight, so I will get to that. Okay. Okay, here we go. So again, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. Tabitha Miller, you didn't get a graphic because you've got a teacher graphic. That's what you're supposed to be sharing. There we go. So remember, if you are an Aloft member, you can sign up for these classes for $50 each. If you're a flotation pass holder, you get priority placement for the time zones, and your headshots are free. Everyone else can sign up for $100 a session. You sign up for these at Float. Those of you that are flotation pass holders, you will get to sign up in advance. Okay? You get to sign up in advance, and then everybody else gets to sign up at Float for headshots. Okay? So there's that. Okay. Adriana, good to see you. One of our fabulous designers coming to Float. Good to see you. Yes, there we go. So, boom. So hang tight, everybody. Okay. All right. Lisa, I see your post. We'll get you circled around and find out what's up. Okay. Don't forget also, if you are a registered attendee, sorry, guys, I'm getting overwhelmed by a lot of stimulation between comments, questions, and the dog. So just bear with me. Okay. Those of you, if you have an academic registration to Float, okay, an academic registration to Float, your ticket is included in the price. You do not need to buy a guest pass for the gala unless you are bringing a guest, okay? So keep in mind, if you are a full delegate and you are bringing a guest to Float for the gala, if you have an academic registration, then it's $99 for you to bring a guest, okay, to the gala. If you are a Jam Pass holder, and you are coming to Float and you want to stay an extra day to go to the gala, that's $125 for the ticket, okay? That will all be done hopefully this week. It was supposed to be last week, but hopefully it'll get up this week, and then everybody will be happy, okay? There we go. And now I'm hearing Greg's feedback because his phone's over here. Okay, there we go. All right, folks. For those of you that are potential sponsors of Float and potential vendors of Float, don't forget we still have sponsorships available throughout the convention. Admittedly, those are coming down. And by the way, to our sponsors and vendors, you will receive an updated email tomorrow because there are some new, believe it or not, new options available for you at the convention. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we want to remind everybody, if you're out there on Instagram, our friends at Bobaloon are giving away a free, digital sizer. Okay? So follow the rules. You can go to our feed. It's there on our feed. You can go to their feed at Bobaloon. You can follow the instructions that you see here, and you've got all the way until New Year's Eve to get signed up. So you're running out of time. But remember, you must be in attendance at Float to win the prize. I believe they said they're giving it away on January 25th, on Sunday, in the vendor showcase. Okay, so you must be registered for Float in order to win. You don't have to be an academic attendee. You can be a Jam Pass holder. You can be a weekend pass holder. Okay, so there's that. Big thing there. Okay. Then, regarding the vendor showcase, we have some exciting news for you tonight, everybody, as I promised from last week, because I couldn't tell you about it. But first, I do want to remind everybody that we landed a whale as far as I'm concerned. Oriental Trading has got a booth at Float. I'm kind of surprised by this, but I'm really happy about it. Our friends at Oriental Trading are going to be joining us in the booth at booth L11. So make sure to look for them at Float, everybody, okay? But last week, we talked about a brand new vendor coming to Float. And tonight, I'm thrilled to share with you that I have full permission to share this information. Yes, I'm pausing for dramatic effect. Suck it up. Okay. So, many of you know our friend afloat, Mr. Stephen Mayhew. Okay. Stephen Mayhew, originally, when I first met Stephen Mayhew, he was working for Conwin, right? As the educational director and salesperson for Conwin. So Stephen was out there. Stephen actually taught at Float before. I believe it was 2010, if I remember correctly. Then Stephen Mayhew left Conwin and went to work for our friends at LA Balloons. And he's been there for quite a while. But now, our dear friend, Mr. Stephen Mayhew, has ventured out onto his own and has purchased his own balloon wholesaling company in Tempe, Arizona, Balloon Outfitters, everybody. So we are so excited and so thrilled for our good friend afloat, Mr. Stephen Mayhew, who has now gone off on his own and taken the big gamble, right? Because we all know entrepreneurship is one of the scariest things you can do. Mr. Mayhew, congratulations. We are so excited to be part of your launch into the world of independent ownership at Float. Congratulations, sir. Very excited to have you. So yes, our good friend, Mr. Stephen Mayhew, has opened his own business. And now I can say, hi, Balloon Outfitters. Welcome to the live chat tonight, because I didn't want to tip anything off. So yes, there we go. Congratulations, sir. There we have it. Okay, let's see here. I do have a question. Balloons by Thero. Steve, is it too late to purchase a ticket to Float? When you say ticket to Float, are you talking about a registration academically? Because the answer is no, it's not too late. But we'll cover that in a minute. So there we go, everybody. So yes, and now, of course, the feed on Facebook and on Instagram both are blowing up with all kinds of love, and you would think Murphy just popped up on screen. Congratulations, Steven. So there you go. Okay. And I do want to remind everybody that booths are still available for Float, but I do need to emphasize something. We have made a dramatic adjustment to the vendor showcase, okay? There are now only 21 booths left on the floor. So if you're one of those people that's been dilly-dallying back and forth going, well, there's a lot of spots and blah, 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 there may not be very soon, okay? Especially if people are grabbing double booths. So folks, if you're thinking about, if you want to get your product or service in front of the biggest audience in the balloon industry, possibly in the world, in one spot, you need to get your butt to Float. So reach out to me, or you can go visit now at floatconvention.com and check out it's not updated yet because Steven's booth isn't on there yet, but it will be very soon. And we'll have a layout with the new room layout. Okay. Very, very soon up there. So make sure you check that out. So if you're interested in getting a booth at Float, please reach out to me at steve@floatconvention.com, or just go to the website at floatconvention.com and let us know. There you go. All right. By popular demand, we are revisiting a topic that all of you have been asking about: what to wear at Float. Now, keep in mind, we did post all this in the Instagram feed, and then it occurred to me that I don't think I ever posted it in the Facebook group. So I will be happy to take care of that after tonight. But again, we're going to go over this one more time for everybody so you guys are aware of how you should look. Yes, all of you are required to wear a balloon dress at Float. I really wish I didn't have to, because my belly is not where I'd like it to be yet. But, it's fine. So there we go. No, you don't have to wear that. But let's talk about what you should be wearing at Float, okay? Let's get to that. First of all, when it comes to the classrooms at Float, when it comes to the group builds and everything else like that, business casual. So like if you've got a polo shirt, right? If you wear a polo, whatever you normally wear, let's say whatever you would normally wear when you're working, whatever you normally wear to networking marketing events or whatever, any of that is perfectly fine. Okay. So if you plan on doing hands-on work at the convention, then you might want to be in jeans and your branded t-shirt. or you might want to be in a polo or something like that, and then be comfortable, right? Tennis shoes, that's all perfectly acceptable. Again, if you want to dress like you're going to a networking group, that's fine too. But most people are going to be in khakis or jeans and a polo, or something else. And we do highly recommend that you bring with you either a open front sweater or a jacket, a light jacket or something like that, because you just never know what you're going to experience in a hotel, right? You might find a chilly spot. Classroom might get chilly all of a sudden out of nowhere. I will honestly tell you that I don't recall experiencing that at the GSR. The only time I was cold at the GSR is when I go outside of the hot tub. But again, you may have a different experience. So I would highly recommend that you bring with you. I would highly recommend that you bring with you some kind of jacket or sweater that you can zip up. By the way, the Float merch store does have a lot of hoodies. So that's something else too. Most of them, though, are a pullover, just so you know. So keep that in mind. Okay, with regard to Float's opening night, let's talk about Float's opening night, presented in part by our friends at Gemar and Sempertex Vitalik. Okay. And again, the event starts at 7:30 p.m. Doors will open at 7. Mia Asano of Mia Asano Music goes on stage at 7:30. She performs till 8. Then at 8 o'clock, opening night kicks off with Teresa and Lisa hosting once again. There will be Floaty Awards given away. The fashion show will take place. You'll meet a whole bunch of people at Float that are going to help you out through your journey. And we're just so excited to have you there. So with regard to opening night, you should wear either an outer space or alien themed costume or lots and lots of orange. It is entirely up to you. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now you are not required to do either one, but if you would like to fit in, that's what you should wear. Okay. So you want to wear either lots of orange or wear some kind of outer space or alien theme. And it can be cosplay. You could come as your favorite Star Trek character. You could come in, the Star Wars outfit. Probably shouldn't say this, but bonus points for Princess Leia slave outfit. But no, I didn't say that. But yeah, you can come in any kind of outer space cosplay that you want to do, whatever you'd like. It's all fun and games. Everybody's good. So there's that. Okay. So Float opening night, either outer space, alien theme, or lots and lots of orange. Keep that in mind. Then on Monday night, we have the first ever Float night market, which is going to be taking place 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the vendor showcase. So basically the vendor show is going to be now flipped to an evening event. There'll be a DJ in there with light music. There will be Jason the Pan Man will be there performing steel drums out in the lobby. And of course, we'll have a bar inside for everybody as well to grab drinks and that kind of fun thing. And it is a pajama themed party. Okay. So bring your fun PJs and all that good stuff. And there you go. Jenny West, looks like my Doctor Who merch may come in handy. Absolutely. That would count. So there you go. So yeah, pajama party. Monday night, January 26th in the vendor showcase. Also, make sure you bring your teddy bears with you and your plush animals to the Teddy Bear Troy Drive. And I was informed in a staff meeting the other night that the Float store has teddy bears to buy already. So apparently, Sandy reminded me that we cleaned out like Brody's last year or whatever before they closed out. And so apparently we have boxes and boxes of plush. So if you want to purchase a bear, if you want to buy it, and so hopefully that link will be on the website soon. But if you want to purchase one, it's $5 a piece, and then we donate it to the cause. Or you can buy one there at Float and pick one up and take it in there that night too. So that's perfectly fine, whatever you want to do. So yeah. That comment wasn't very CEO of you. I'm emailing HR. Yes, thank you, Natasha. That was the one reason why I almost didn't say it. So there you go. Yeah, believe it or not, I've had people actually file complaints with me at Float for jokes I made on stage. So thank you, Natasha, for bringing up the scar tissue there. And then we don't want to neglect or forget all about the Designer Awards Gala, which will be taking place on Wednesday, January 28th, which is a tribute to the loss of our friend Tommy DeLorenzo. That evening is being presented by our friends at Vitalik, Gemar, Calisan, Highshine, and Pioneer Balloon. And the team of Balloons by Tommy will be doing the decor for that evening. But our manufacturer sponsors there are helping out. And we want to remind everybody that the Designer Awards Gala is semi-formal attire, strongly recommended. Formal attire is encouraged. And please wear some element of green with your ensemble. Doesn't have to be a full dress or a full suit or a full anything. It could be just an accent. But of course, the Balloons by Tommy team was green. And as a tribute to Tommy, we want to recognize that in our attire for the evening. So everyone is asked to wear some element of green out of respect to Tommy's memory. Okay. I do. Please, dear God in heaven, don't be the person who shows up in t-shirts and shorts. What you need to remember about this is that, again, assume that you are having 1,000 photos taken of you that evening, and do you really want to be in those pictures in a t-shirt and shorts? That's all I got to say. So there's that. So yeah. Yep, there's going to be a lot of tears that evening. So there we go. So yeah, there's that. So folks, we are very, very excited getting ready for this event in 4 weeks. For me, it's even less because I get there much sooner. Yeah, we can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait to have you in Reno. I think you will agree that Reno is this new facility where we are is absolutely amazing. I know for some of you it's a challenge to get to because many of you have never had to get on a plane to come to Float before because we've always been in the Midwest. But I'm telling you right now, guys, it's worth the trip. You are going to enjoy Float so much more because for the first time, we are not crammed into some small hotel that we are just bursting at the seams. And the way that the spaces are laid out, it's so easy to get to everything. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. So please, I can't wait for you to see this place. It's absolutely wonderful. So we're excited to have you there. I do apologize to everybody. I didn't get a chance to do, now that we're at the street level content, I did not get a chance to do the survey today because, again, I didn't expect to get back to the shop a few hours later than we did. I even took my backpack to the job in case I got stuck, and then I just never got around to it. So I do apologize. We didn't have a survey. I did have a great question today. So maybe just for the fun of it, I'll post the survey tomorrow in the main group, and you guys can answer it there. For those of you that want to keep up on lots and lots of information about the Floativerse, you want to check out the Float Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/float convention. Okay. We do a lot of information there, and a lot of our sponsors and stuff post information there. And remember, if you're a sponsor or a vendor, you're allowed to post in there once a week. That once a week is Sunday or Saturday to Sunday. No, I'm sorry. Sunday to Saturday. I had that backwards. So remember, you can post like on a Saturday, and then you can post again on a Sunday, but then you can't post again on Monday because that's within the same week. So you can post Sunday to Saturday. Okay. So there's that. So there's all that. So there we go. Okay. I want to remind everybody that Float is on YouTube at youtube.com/@thefloativerse. And I am thrilled to share that I finally got caught up on the past Step Chat episodes. Episodes 294, 295, and 296 are now finally uploaded to YouTube, and 297 will be up there tomorrow. So thank you all for that, which is tonight. So again, remember, Facebook only keeps these videos now for about a month. And I think Instagram deletes them almost immediately. So, yeah. If you want to watch an old episode of Step Chat or anything else like that, you can check it out on YouTube, youtube.com/@thefloativerse. We do ask that you like our videos, share the videos with people that you know that want to see them, and subscribe to the channel. It'll help drive our engagement. We would really, really appreciate it. Also, don't forget that Float is also now on TikTok. I finally joined the 21st century at the Floativerse on TikTok as well. Most of the videos that are there are a lot of the same stuff that we're posting on the other social media feeds for now. But what can you expect? I am just not the most photogenic person, and therefore I do what I do. So thank you. And don't forget that for those of you that are new to the Floativerse, or those of you that have been regular members and just want to hang out with people, every Tuesday night, Lisa McIntyre does a live stream. Or I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Every Tuesday night, Lisa does a Zoom call. Okay. Making Friends for Float with Lisa McIntyre. The link for that is put in the Float Facebook group. We are no longer streaming that show. on that. So now it is simply done as a Zoom call. So if you'd like to get on the call and join in with everybody, Lisa will be hosting that every Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific. So if you are concerned about not knowing a lot of people before the, oh my God. Sorry, my Instagram wasn't catching up, and now suddenly I'm seeing all this stuff. So if you'd like to make some new friends before you get to the convention, by all means, feel free to come out and join us. We'd love to have you there. Okay, so there's that. And then let's see here. Oh, and then we get to the final slide of the night, which is the Wall of Awesome. This is something that we're doing at Float. Again, I've been talking about it for weeks, and we've been trying to do it for years, and we just never got around to it. We are going to have a balloon wall there at Float with positive affirmations all over it. So if you have a great class, or you make a new friend, or you're just blown away by somebody's sculpture or a competition piece or whatever, you go to the reg desk, you say, I want to do the Wall of Awesome. You fill it out, you give it back to them, and they'll go post it on the wall. And hopefully by the time we're done, that wall will be covered in incredible positive affirmations from you guys at Float pertaining to how great everything was. If you recall correctly, last week, our winner was, or not winner, but the Wall of Awesome person was Miss Leslie Hicks, one of our fabulous instructors who has been doing a tremendous job helping us out with promotion. And thank you for that again, Leslie. But this week is a very special person. This is the first person that's being recognized that is not on staff and is not a teacher, is not somebody affiliated, in that kind of capacity with the convention. This is an attendee who has been doing a tremendous service to help us out. And especially me. So many of you know that I talked about earlier that when you send in your headshots, right? When you send in your headshots, then we're converting them into the I Am Float photos so that you guys can then put them on your social media and promote them. But as you can imagine, when I get your headshots and then have to convert them to that, and I have to fix things and everything else, it's added more time and more labor and everything else for me. And this particular person reached out and said, Steve, don't forget, I helped you last year. Do you need help? And I said, oh, yeah, you did help me with this last year. Because last year, if you remember correctly, for those of you that came, the I Am Float 2024 image was put in the email. You could download it yourself, and then you could make your own photo. But the problem is, half the people were like, I don't understand. What do I do? And so they'd end up sending us their picture anyway. So that's part of the other thing why we did this. But this person stepped up and said, I want to help you. Let me do this for you. And God love her. So now when everybody's sending their headshots in, once a day, I'm sending her an email and saying, okay, can you please do these for me? And God love her, within 30 minutes, I get an email back. They're all done. And I can't say enough. Thank you so much to my dear friend, Julia Alvarez, for taking the time to help us out behind the scenes at Float. Julia, thank you. Greg's clapping too. Thank you so very much for helping out, Julia. You have no idea how much it is tremendous. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate you. Thank you. And with that being said, folks, that will do it for tonight's episode of the Step Chat Slide Show. So let's get to so many questions that we had. Let's do the first ones that were on Instagram, everybody. Okay. So, Ronise, is there a certain shade of green? No. With regard to the Designer Awards Gala, no, I don't believe it matters what shade of green. Tommy's colors was very much like a shamrock green, or is still, I'm sorry, excuse me. The balloons by Tommy is very much like a shamrock green. So if you want to wear that, that's fine. But again, if you have something already in a different shade, I'm sure that will be perfectly fine. I don't think anybody will have a problem with it. Okay. So Balloons by Theral, you asked, is it too late to purchase a ticket to Float? No, it is not. Okay. You can purchase a ticket. And I believe we're going to be selling tickets for Float all the way up until, I don't remember what day. I think it's the 12th. I think it's January 12th. Is you can sign up for Float all the way to January 12th is what I believe it is, because we got to get stuff done and everything else. But remember, the prices go up. So if you're talking about an academic registration, if the person is from the United States, then it's $795. If it's an international person, it's $575. If it's for the beginner program, it's $550. All of those prices have to be signed up for by Friday to get those rates. Okay. Then if it's a weekend pass, it's $395. If it's a weekend, or I'm sorry, that's wrong. If it's a jam pass, which means they get access from Friday all the way to Tuesday, it's $395. If it's a weekend pass, I think it's $275 or $295 right now. I can't remember which, but it's right in that range. Okay. And the weekend pass is just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Weekend passes and jam passes do not come with classroom access. The only exception to this are the fulcrum panels that take place on Sunday. Okay. So there's that. By the way, I do want to share with everybody that, yes, I am aware that the schedule on the website is wrong. So apparently they updated it, and then they must have updated something else, and it reverted back to an old version. They're not in today, so I'm going to try to get that fixed as soon as possible tomorrow. I had to make some changes to it anyway, so hopefully that'll be addressed, and so you guys will have an updated one. It'll be my full intention to get an email out to everybody tomorrow. So with that being said, you'll get the new schedule then too. Okay. Because I know a lot of you are trying to start planning your schedule out and you're like, wait a minute, where's Devorah's classes? Where's this? Where's that? And I'm like, they're there. Trust me. So that's fine. Having a party. Good to see you over there on Instagram. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, one of our fabulous sponsors and vendors. Okay. So there's the Instagram. So let's go now to Facebook. And let's jump around here and post some of these lovely questions that you guys had. And remember, if you guys still have questions, throw them out. Throw them out in the chat, and I'll be happy to address them for you. Let's see here. Bear with me while I get going through here again. Okay, so this is a good question from Stacy Moore. What is the time frame window that you could submit a pick from for the Floaty Awards? The Floaty Award rules are between conventions. So I think it's April 1st of 2024 to December 31st of 2025. That's the time frame. Any photos that can be traced back before that don't count and will be disqualified. Unfortunately, we have had people in the past that have submitted photos that we found out were 5 years old. They got deleted out. They weren't allowed. So if you're going to enter floaties, they've got to be between conventions. They've got to be between April 1st, because the last convention was in March, right? So it's March of 24. So it's April 1st to December 31st of this year. April 1st of 2024 to December 31st of 2025. And I believe this is in the rules. So if you read the rules, you'll see where that's at. Okay. So there's that. Okay. Hold on one second. By the way, I didn't, hold on. Rebecca, you said you were going to have a dumb question. I haven't seen a question from you yet. So I don't believe it's dumb anyway. We'll throw it out there and let's see. All right. Devorah asked a question. Do you know which rooms or floors are closest to the float happenings? No, I don't. Off the top of my head, no, I really don't. I think the way it is, I think the casino level is considered the second floor. I think the executive level, I think, is the third floor. Keep in mind, the executive level is not what you think. The executive level is like where boardrooms and stuff are, but that is an actual level. So that I think there's actually rooms on that floor. So I think that's 3, and then everything up from there. But the problem is, and I've said this 1,000 times, in a hotel like ours with the tower with like 30 something floors in it, you don't want to be on the bottom levels, because trying to catch an elevator going down at breakfast time is a nightmare. Like you'll call the elevator and you'll wait all this time. It'll open up and it's packed full of people. Sorry, we're full. And then you're gonna have to wait again. So I would go up. That's what I would do. So, but yeah. So if you're concerned about that, I would just ask to be a room as close to the casino level as you can be. That's what I would say. Okay. And did I hear correctly? There's no resort fee for float. As I understand it, there's no resort fee, or it's already tied into the $129 price. Okay. So it might be 99 plus the resort fee, but I do believe it's $129 plus tax is what it comes to. So maybe if there is a resort fee attached, it's in that $129 price. So there's that. Melody asked a good question. If I booked my room through a combined offer and Expedia, do I need to tell them I'm a float attendee, or does that not matter? It does not matter. Andrea Seeger, our hotel liaison with the team, will be taking a master list of all the attendees at float and giving them to the hotel. And then the hotel is going to crunch those numbers and be like, oh, okay, this person's not in your block, but this person is staying at the hotel and blah, 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 blah. So no, you don't need to do that. As long as the room is booked in your name, you're fine. Okay. Now, what Melody did is Melody, because the hotel did share this, that there were actually lower rates. Sorry, I hit the microphone. There are lower rates for the hotel room available if you're doing a bundle purchase through places like Expedia. If you buy like a hotel and a flight combined through them, then apparently the hotel rate is cheaper than ours. But I do also want to emphasize that if you pick a flight that is super tight and they got to bump people, you're one of the first people to go. It's absolutely true. If you buy a ticket through a discount provider or through a bulk provider, you're one of the first people to go. So what I would highly recommend is if you, like, say for example, let's say you're on an Alaska Airlines flight, but you bought your ticket through Expedia. Join the Atmos program. Sign up to join their frequent flyer program, even if it's the only time you're going to fly them. Because by signing up on their frequent flyer program, you are far less likely than to get bumped. Okay? Because the way they do this, you buy a ticket on Alaska Airlines on Expedia, and it's $400. And then you go to the Alaska website and you say it's $400. It's the same price. So you're thinking I paid the same price. You did, but Alaska Airlines doesn't get $400 from you from Expedia. Alaska Airlines will get $350 or $320 or whatever. So when they start bumping people, they bump people based on whose tickets cost the most. So like first class people, they ain't getting bumped. Frequent flyer people with that airline aren't getting bumped. It's the people that produce the lowest revenue ticket. So if you got a combo, make sure you're a frequent flyer member of that airline so they won't bump you, or they're far less likely to. So that's my little tip for the day. I see some other questions that have popped up on Instagram. I'm going to come back to those. Okay. So there we go. And yes, remember, Jenny stated you give the hotel code that came in your information. There is not a code. It's a link. And then she said, yes, I'm sorry. It's a link, not a code. So yep. So there you go. Okay. Sherry asked a question. Where do you enroll? I think this was when we were talking about master classes and bonus classes. That link will be sent to you again tomorrow. So if you've registered, but Sherry, you said in another email, you said the only email I got was from my immediate registration. What I can do. Oh, well, I just did. That was stupid. Hold on one second. I just did something that, let me look you up real quick while we're talking to everybody. I have the ability, so I can see when we send out emails to everybody, we can tell if it was opened, if it was shared, if it was all kinds of other stuff, or it's just sitting in a bin somewhere. So I can pull your name up and see if we can find you. And then I can tell you, because we have, unfortunately, as we've been going through these email addresses with people, we have found some missing people. Okay, Sherry, let me see here. I've got two different email addresses for Sherry Thomas. And it says it says you're clicking on stuff and you've opened stuff. So I don't know. But if you drop me a message afterwards, we could figure this out, because I'm looking right here and it says that according to Day, you actually clicked a link in one of the emails. Unless there's two Sherry Thomases coming to float. So there's that. So we'll see if we can figure this out for you and everything else. Okay. Okay. So Catscraft, Arizona. I'm still not getting emails as well. Don't have the hotel link. I think, to be fair, I don't think we sent one with a hotel link yet since you signed up. That's coming tomorrow. So be sure to look for that. And if you don't get it tomorrow by 5:00 your time, drop me a message. Okay. And we'll get that squared away for you. So we'll make sure that you know what's going on there. Miss Stephanie. Okay. So what time do signups begin? I'm assuming this means for the registrations for the classes. I mean, the signup times will be noon each day, noon Pacific time each day. The e-blast for those individuals will go out each day at noon, my time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. So there we go. Okay. Yeah, I'll follow up with that. I'll follow up. I haven't made your husband's badge yet, so you're fine. We're not there yet, so you're good. Okay. Lisa never got a graphic. Yes, you're correct. You did not, and I know we'll get that fixed and corrected and sent over to you. Lots of shouts and love for Stephen Mayhew. Going through this. Give me a second. I'm still trying to go through, trying to see if there's any more questions. Hello, Nicole. Good to see you. Nicole Marie, good to see you. No, I did not. Tabitha Miller, did you ever make one graphic for all the dress-up themes? No, I didn't. Because I have these other graphics, I'm posting those. And like I said, all the dress-up stuff is currently in the Instagram feed, and it'll be in Facebook tonight or tomorrow. So there we go. Rebecca, I have a vendor showcase specific question. Yeah, you can just email it to me if you want to. That's perfectly fine. Again, Brenda, where can I purchase a bonus class and master class? On the website. You cannot on the website. Because again, every time that we ever had the added value class stuff on the website, people who weren't registered for Float bought them and then thought they could show up at Float and just take those classes. Those links will be in the email going out to you tomorrow. Aren't there multiple towers at the hotel? Which one is closest to the event? They're all in the same. It's one big monster tower. They're combined. So that's not a problem. Okay, there we go. Stacy Moore, what is the fee for boxes being sent to the hotel? It all depends on weight. It's going to range anywhere from $5 to $50, and it all depends on weight. You'll need to contact the. Well, if you drop me an email, I can send you the information that I have from the business center. Okay, so there's that. Melody, if I'm going to the gala as an Aloft member and I have a friend coming that will buy a ticket, they won't be able to sit next to me as I have a safe seat. They're not guaranteed to sit next to you. No, they're not. We are talking about the possibility of allowing people to purchase. We actually talked about the idea of a reserved seat ticket also. But we got to figure out how that's all going to go down. So it may be too late for that, but we will we'll take care of that there. So let's see here. Shawnee, we've been having problems with you. We've been having issues with you, and I don't know why. I know that you had an old email address, and then it got changed. I'm in here right now. Bear with me for a second, because you're the only Shawnee in my system. Okay, so Shawnee, you're showing up as Williams at airbrushgypsy.com. Is that the correct email address? If it is, you're getting emails and clicking on them, according to MailChimp. So there's that. So there we go. Okay, Sherry. Okay, very good. Thank you so much for that, Sherry. Appreciate you. Okay, now I got questions back on the Instagram side of things. So let's scroll back over here. Okay. Floatballoons.ca. Will you be giving advance instructions for class registration? Yeah, what's going to happen is there'll be an email that's going to go out. Okay, Shawnee, drop me a Facebook message or something and we'll switch it again or try to figure this out. But I mean, we'll figure something out. Or for some reason or another, your person name of Shawnee is I thought we did switch it, but it may be that your name is not attached to that email address. Because right now I was just looking it up by Shawnee. So it may be that for whatever reason or another, the new email address doesn't have your name in it yet for some reason, which I don't know why that would be. Okay, so will you be giving advance instructions for class registration? We will be sending out a trainer email, so to speak, but what's going to happen is nobody's going to read it. Hate to say it, nobody's going to read it. So, but basically it's going to work just like a form. Originally, we were going to do it through the app, but the problem is the app is not going to be ready on time. The app is not going to be ready for the deadline of the 7th. So we are going to go back to a form like we've been using, like what you use to register for Float. The confusing part for everybody's going to be is everybody's going to say, well, I'm already registered, so how do I log in? It's not the same form. It's a different form. Okay. You're going to use a coupon code to pay or to sign up with. So you're not paying for anything. You're just registering. That's all it's going to be. So, but you'll be picking your class. You'll pick each session. Boom, 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 boom. And of course, there'll also be an option to not choose a class, right, in that session. But yeah, that's how that's going to work out. So there we go. Okay. Let's see here. You guys need to check your spam folders, guys. But I'm telling you, we've not sent an email out in over a week. So if you're like, I didn't get anything this week, nobody did. I've been nuts. So there we go. Balloons, are you ready to host the largest international balloon convention in 4 weeks? Nope. Next question. Not ready yet. Clearly, we're not ready yet. Tonight, the comments and questions of tonight's feed have been overwhelming in that capacity. Clearly, we're not ready yet, but we're getting there. So there we go. Very excited. Very, very excited. Yep. But guys, remember, check your spam folders, check your junk folders. If you're using Gmail, if you use Gmail, you've got to check the promotions folder. This has been happening a lot, and people are like, I'm not getting anything. And then I find out yours at gmail.com or your email is routed through your Gmail account. Your Gmail account, you'll see like spam or junk or something, and then you'll see like others or like other folders or whatever, and it's stacked because it doesn't come out and say it. You have to click on it to expand it. One of those expanded is promotions. Click on that, and that's where our stuff will probably be. We've been branded by Gmail because we use that email address to promote the convention. So it gets defaulted into, so basically anybody that's using a mail service like ours, that's where they pretty much get dumped into. So you have to go in there, and not only do you have to go in there and find it, you have to route it as not like to go to your inbox. You need to change it to where it goes to your inbox. So there's that. Lisa Weber, do flotation pass holders need to sign up for individual classes? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The benefit is you get to sign up ahead of everybody else, but you have to sign up for them. Unlike, see, in the past, with the ticket holders, like when we had the flotation passes before, what you got to do is you got to order your tickets in advance, and we gave you a packet with tickets in it. Okay? You don't get, there's limited seats in these classrooms, so you can't just decide on the whim, I'm going to go to this class today. The advantage is you get to pre-enroll. What you don't have to sign up for are the master or bonus classes. Those you're already enrolled in. Okay? There we go. Okay. Tabitha Miller, excited to be on the Metallic team teaching about corporate decor and building large sculptures. Yay! Very excited. There we go. Okay. And again, I do need to remind everybody, hey, 37 people, the flotation passes do not allow you to cut the line for classrooms. You have to wait in line like everybody else. Hello, Murphy. Murphy, everybody. I don't know if Instagram can see Murphy. There you go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, yes, Murphy is back, and there we go. Let's see here. Bonita, are we really having this question? What happens if you're bad with emails and don't choose your classes ahead of time? Sweetheart, you know I love you. Adulting is hard. You got to do this. I mean, if you don't pay attention and you miss out, you can't come to me at Float and be upset if a class is full. You could still, I mean, you could potentially sign up, right? I mean, there's still the possibility of signing up for a class. Now the other thing that is a thing, nobody gets to cut the line. Renice, do Aloft members get to cut the line? No, nobody. If the flotation pass holders don't get to cut the line, Aloft members don't get to cut the line. The only line that Aloft members get to cut is the registration line because there's a special window for you. That's your cutting line. Okay. Whew. I'm getting it. Bonita, okay, so yeah, you gotta, now the one thing you can do, remember everybody, that if you're in a class, okay, and you don't like the class or you want to switch classes, At 30 minutes, you can switch to a different class as long as there's seats in there. Okay. But if the class is full, you can't do it. Okay. It's that simple. There we go. Okay. This is right. Right, Murph? No, actually, he's fine right now. He's and he like in this.
I've been a damn good babysitter.
In this position, he will sit. He will normally sit here for like an hour. I'm literally cradling him like a baby, and he just hangs out. I went to dinner one night with some friends and sat on the patio, and I swear to God, he sat just like this on my chest for like an hour and a half. Yes, I know you're trying to be cute for everybody. Okay, I'm ignoring that one. So there we go. That's just being cute. Natasha, I can feel your stress through the screen. Yes, you can. But Murphy is just happy to be here. Yes, he is. Murphy is just like, it's time to shine. Woo! God damn. Sorry if this isn't applicable. How big is the screen in the class for the PowerPoint presentations? I don't know. I don't. The AV company is providing them. I can only assume they're an 8x8. I don't know any more than that. This year we have an outside AV company that's doing all the classroom stuff as well. And I don't know what size screens they're bringing. I'm assuming they're fast fold 8x8s, like the kind that, like the standard telescopic tripod kind. They're very similar to the same ones we had at the last convention that we had. That's all I can assume at this point. So there you go. I do want to remind everybody at Float that this each classroom this year will have a camera operator in the room, and they'll be shooting the instructor or the slideshow depending upon what's happening at the time. So anybody that's I can't see, guess what? You can watch the screen now. We don't have these problems to worry about anymore. So we spent a ton of money on this, by the way. So I mean, we ton of money on this. So please keep that in mind. I do need to remind everybody as well. And this is the unpleasant part of Float. So the cancellation date, the deadline to cancel was December 15th with a refund. Okay. I understand that something just came up. I understand that if I had known this was going to happen before, I would have told you by December 15th, but I just found this out or whatever. I understand all of that, and everybody's got great reasons. But guys, we are beyond the point now of refunds, period. Okay? $250,000 in checks were mailed on December 16th. Okay? Lots more checks still have to be written. The moment that deadline comes, I try to tell this and I try to explain this to everybody as politely as possible. Okay? That money is yours until December 15th. On December 16th, it becomes mine. And then we got to use it how we have to use it to put on Float. Okay? I had somebody reach out to me the other day and got very angry because they said, well, I was going to sell my ticket to somebody else. You can't. You can't do that. You got to read the cancellation policies. Nobody does. It's right there on the landing page. When you go to register, it's right there. And it even says right above the window, please review the cancellation policies before you make this purchase. Somebody said to me the other day, they were like, well, how can somebody possibly abuse a transfer policy? Believe me, it's been done. I have had people call me and inform me that I now owe them an airline ticket because the person they bought this from said it included their flight. I've had people tell me, and how do I get my free hotel room? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I was told I get a free hotel room with this registration. Oh, no, that ain't happening. I've had people tell me they got free master classes. I've had people tell me they were supposed to get free merch. And then, of course, they're mad at me. I'm not the one that told them this stuff. I'm not the one that even sold them the ticket. Then on the other end of things, We've had people even at one point scalping float tickets. Like they bought their ticket when it was like $500, and then they were selling it for like 8 or 9 because we had sold out. And then people were mad because they found out they had paid more for their ticket than the convention actually was charging. And then they were demanding me refund them the money back to them. Or we'd have people buy somebody else's ticket, then find out they can't come to float, and then scream and yell at me that I owe them their money back. So, yeah, this is why we don't do this stuff anymore. Everybody thinks we're greedy. Everybody thinks we're selfish. No, we do this because we've been abused and beaten down so many times by people. We just can't do it. We just can't. And again, the other thing you have to keep in mind is, and then we talk about rollovers. People are like, well, why can't I just use it next year? Because your money doesn't just sit in a random account for 2 years. That money is now used to produce this convention. So, we're not trying to be difficult. We're not trying to be problematic, but we got to be honest. In a way, like I said, I've shared this before, and it's a very good reference. You have a bride call you up the night before her wedding and say, oh my God, I just caught my groom and my maid of honor in bed together. Wedding's off. I need my money back. You've already blown everything up. You've already prepped it. You're done. She ain't getting that money back, right? It sucks. It absolutely sucks that happened to her. None of us would want that to happen to her. But you've already done what you were contracted to do. The problem is people don't realize that in the world of event production, December 15th is like the night before, because that's when the hotel starts demanding their money. That's when the AV people start demanding their money. That's when everybody starts demanding their money. And if we don't pay it, we don't get to have the event. So there you go. And I hope this isn't coming across as aggressive. But it is stressful, right? Especially when people, you explain to them the policies and you explain them this and that, and then they come back at you with just these emotional tirades of how you're just the most evil person in the world. And you're like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to run this convention without going broke. And so, I hate to say this, but I really had to have adopted. It's so funny because my transition in the balloon world has been interesting, because when I first started this convention back in 2008, it was very important to me that I was involved in the convention, whether I was designing the decor or whether I was teaching, or both, because I couldn't afford another teacher. And it was one of those things because I wanted to be known as Steve, the balloon guy who runs Float. Okay. And I fought that for many years. And for many years, I struggled with that identity, so to speak. And then I realized at one point that I couldn't be Steve, the guy who does balloons, who runs Float. I could be Steve, the guy who does balloons 103 weeks every 2 years. But for one solid week, I got to be Steve, the guy who runs Float. And that's especially how things are now, because to be honest with you, there's so many new people in the business now. They have no idea that I'm one half of Balloon Designers in Seattle, Washington, right? They just know it's Steve, the guy that runs Float. After last convention, I realized somebody perked up real good. After the last convention, I realized I couldn't even be Steve, the guy who runs Float anymore. I now have to be Steve, the CEO of Float. And that means I have to start making decisions that are very disconnected from emotion. And I can be accommodating up to a certain point. I could be, whatever. But once that line is crossed, we're kind of done. And at that point, I got to start making very uncomfortable and painful decisions for people. And I get it. So by the way, if you're one of those individuals that finds themselves on the craptacular end of having to say, crap, now I can't come. Hey, 37 people. What can you expect? Okay. So the first thing, again, is at this stage in the game, your registration will not be refunded. It will not be rescinded or anything like. It'll be put into what we call suspension. So you'll be taken off the attending list. Somebody from the float team will be reaching out to you at the convention to confirm your mailing address. Okay. At that point, okay, dude, now it's time to go. Okay. At that point, you will receive a care package from Float, which will include your t-shirt. It'll include your academic notebook, and it will include as many items from the tote bag as we can actually fit in the box. Okay. And we'll be sending that out to you. You will also receive, once we start uploading the videos into the Aloft program and onto the website for purchase, we will be, we'll extend to you a credit. So what you'll do is you'll let us know like which, we haven't decided how many it's going to be yet because we just don't know, but more than likely it'll be 5. You'll receive, 5 free digital downloads. You get to pick 5 classes that you want to watch the recordings of. And then we send you a code and you can purchase those specific 5 videos or something like that. But that would be the end of it. Zach and Zoe. Wow, look at you out there on the feed. Zach and Zoe would love to attend Float and are curious if you're going to travel your convention to the East Coast. Also, love the balloons behind you. That's for New Year's Eve. No, I don't plan on, to be honest. First of all, we don't ever talk about where the convention is going again, because it has a tendency then to freeze people up. I know that sounds like a I'm leave this up here again. It sounds bad, but if you, from a production standpoint, okay, let's be very just upfront about this. From a production standpoint, it is really bad to telegraph where the convention is going. And the reason for this is because of the fact that if we say Float 2026 is in Reno, Float 2028 is in New York, Float 2030 is going to be in Chicago, then you're going to have people from New York or from the East Coast look at that and go, oh, well, then I'm not going to go in 26. I'm just going to wait till 28. Well, if we don't get enough people in 26, there won't be a 28. Right? So you can't really do that. That's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of venues or you don't see a lot of events like ours promote the next convention until this one's done. The only places that you can are places that are in a fixed location. Like if Capital Kidvention, right, is always in Washington, D.C. It's where they are. It just makes sense. So with that being said, it's always there. They just don't know the dates. But when you have a convention like ours, and the other thing you have to keep in mind is Float has reached the size and scale now. It's going to be hard for us to find a hotel big enough to hold us that isn't going to want to charge like $200 a night for rooms. Okay. We started investigating prices, by the way, because one of the conversations that was having was a lot of people were saying we'd really like to see Float go back to March again. And so we thought, okay, let's investigate it. And it's amazing how much more the hotel rooms went up by doing that. $30, $40, $50 a night. And why? Because March starts spring break. And so a lot of places are going to take full advantage of that. And so we can't, and everybody says, oh, well, people will pay. No. We got people complaining about $129. And if you remember correctly, for those of you that have been around long enough, our good friends at Qualitex had the World Balloon Convention one year in San Diego and could not understand what was happening. We knew it. We all knew it going in. Hotel rooms were $260 a night. They couldn't understand why nobody was signing up to go. Nobody's going to pay $269 a night to go to the World Balloon Convention. And they didn't. They had to go back to the hotel and beg them to lower the price. And I think they got it down to like $220. And even then, people weren't signing up. So float, and a lot of the cities and a lot of the hotels that are big enough to host float want to charge either they want to charge like almost $200 a night for each room, and then they want us to pay outrageous amounts for food and beverage and all that stuff that we just can't afford to do. We'd have to charge you guys $1,000-$1,500 a piece to come if we did that. And then the problem is, of course, if we charge that much, some people would pay it, but certainly not 700. And when you start losing attendees like that, then you also start losing sponsorship, you start losing vendors, you start losing all of it. It's a cascading effect. So this whole concept is really a balancing act that most people just don't understand until you do it. It really is like walking a tightrope. It really is. But it's a fair question, Zach and Zoe, and good for you. Yes, Bonita, please use USPS. Yes, we do, actually. We use the priority mailboxes. So there's that. So there we go. Okay, guys, I think we covered everything we need to cover tonight. Thank you all very much for being here. Let's give another big shout of applause to Mr. Greg Aragoni for being here in studio, helping me with dog sitting to a degree tonight. Stick your nose down here and get in the shot. There he is. He's sort of there. And then we'll get you on Instagram. There you go.
Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. Hope you're making some money. We'll see you at Float.
There you go. I will. I got to get out of here because he hasn't eaten since like 1 o'clock. So I got to get out and go get this.
Starving.
I got to get this man fed. So there we go. That's the one thing as our guest, anybody that comes here and works with us, we always make sure we feed them every meal. So there we go. As opposed to being fed to someone. So it's a different story entirely. But guys, again, I cannot thank you enough. You have no idea how much this flatters me that you guys join me on a Sunday night and take time out of your lives. It really is. It means a lot to me that you're here. And so for those of you on Instagram and those of you on Facebook, thank you so very, very much for being here. Ron Fowler, good to see you, sir. There you go. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. But yeah, I just can't thank you guys enough for joining me along this crazy journey that is the Floativerse. Yes, as Natasha pointed out, I'm under a tremendous amount of stress right now. And again, I have no doubt in my mind that at some point in the middle of the night tonight, I'm going to wake up again, realize that I haven't done something and I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep. But the bottom line is, though, I consider this a tremendous honor to be able to put this event on, because because the fact that to know it's that person that comes up to you and says how this event has changed their life, just like my first convention changed my life. I'll never forget the day I walked into my first IBAC. I was so uninterested in balloons. Really. It was my wife that brought me to this thing. And I was just there to like, okay, whatever. And I walked in and my life completely changed in 30 seconds. And so it touches me to know that there's people out there that have the same thing. And remember, I can't say this enough. We want you to get the absolute most ROI out of this event as you can get. Okay? So we want you to reach out. We want you to connect with us. We want you to tell us, this is what I'm hoping for. This is kind of what I'm expecting. This is what I'm absolutely expecting for this convention. Let us know what that is so that we can help you achieve that. I can't promise we're going to achieve that. But what I can tell you is that we can try to create the environment as much as possible so that you can. Okay? So again, thank you all so very, very much for being part of the Floativerse with us. Really appreciate you. Have a good night. We'll see you next time. Go kick some butt. And because I won't see you again before then, Happy New Year. Take care.